What is the primary driver of why whiskey and bourbon prices specifically are so much higher now than they were 2 years ago?
Wow, well, first of all, thank you so much, Tom and Kelly, for having me on today. Prices are increasing. There are so many inflationary pressures on our industry right now. I almost don't even know where to begin. Lumber. When you're aging whiskey, you have to use staves. That's wood, the wood we make the barrels from. You have to use staves that are a particular hardwood. Even though lumber's bounced around and the prices have moderated a bit, the stave prices are still wood stave prices are still up 17% this year. Leading to an increase in barrel prices about 7 to 10%. When you take a look at corn, which is the main ingredient in bourbon, corn in general is up about 50% this year. Now, at Michter's, we farm our own estate-grown grains on our 205-acre farm in Springfield, so that helps us a bit to hedge, but we still buy the majority of our corn. And the corn that we buy, because our master distiller, Dan McKee, is very particular about what he works with, it's non-GMO U.S. grade 1 corn. Our corn prices have gone up 59%, and that's the main, that's this year, and that's the main ingredient that we use to ferment for bourbon. So there's all sorts of pressures. I mean, glass, glass has gone up a lot, but people are even lucky to get it. You're just happy you can get the glass, even though the prices are higher.
So Joseph, I had a good friend of mine who's a bourbon aficionado text me a photo of a bottle of bourbon that I'm not going to say which brand it is. It wasn't Michter's, but it could have been another one in the same kind of category. Premium bourbon whiskeys 2-3 years ago might have been, say, $75, $80 a bottle. During the pandemic, I can understand maybe they got up to a little over $100-some a bottle. He took a picture at a local liquor store that showed the same bottle I could have bought 2 years ago for $75 to $80, selling for over $200 right now. Is most of that pricing pressure coming from your end of things to retailers and distributors, or are they passing it on to me more on their side?
What's really, we have items that, there's one item, I think our suggested retail is about $1,000 a bottle on it, roughly. It might have even been lower I was on Wine Searcher last week. A retailer in the U.S. is selling the bottle for $29,999. That's a bottle. So it really is a matter of supply and demand. When we acquired Michter, the Michter's trademark was an abandoned brand. Nobody wanted it. In the 1990s, we acquired it for $245 because of the liquor business and the brown spirit business in those days was just really in a terrible depression, effectively. What's really happened is that over time, the super premium part of the business has basically exploded. And there's a lot of great American companies, not just us, making wonderful whiskeys. And there's been a growing recognition, not just here, but around the world, that American whiskey, when it's really good, can rival other great spirits like cognac and Scotch. There was an auction in London in July 2020 where a barrel of Michter's 10-year bourbon set the world record when it sold for 166,000 pounds for a barrel of bourbon at auction. So I think there's really increasing popularity and increasing recognition, especially at the highest end of the business.